My guest today is Jonathan Guadian, community organizer with ICE out of Tarrant County. For background, Tarrant County Commissioners recently approved an $18 million contract to move more than 400 members of Tarrant County Jail's population to a private prison due to staffing shortages. Critics of the plan say it fails to address the underlying issues at Tarrant County Jail. One of those critics is my guest today. So Jonathan, tell us why you believe this is a misstep on the part of county leaders.
I'm going to share my screen here for a presentation I prepared to summarize a lot of the reasons why I oppose this contract and why several other community members do the same. The sheriff cited the limited capacity that the jail is operating under because of staff shortages, which has been a prevalent issue since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic across the nation within carceral facilities. County Judge Glenn Whitley argues that Tarrant County is currently paying to house 700 plus people within Tarrant County Jail who should be in the custody of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, who operate state prisons, but aren't being accepted into their custody at the moment. And Tarrant County Sheriff's Office Chief Charles Eckert cited that although the Sheriff's Office has been working with local law enforcement entities within the past few months to limit the amount of people being brought into the jail who are being issued Class C misdemeanors, the Sheriff's Office cannot decline a person's admittance into the jail when they are brought into the jail. And Tarrant County Sheriff's Office Chief Charles Eckert also cites that it is imperative for the county to adopt the MTC contract because in July, the jail would be undertaking an HVAC upgrade project that would require the deactivating of 500 plus beds within the jail, further limiting space. So now I'm going to talk about why I personally oppose those arguments in support of the contract. The issue concerning staff shortages is not a new issue, but it is an issue that has been exacerbated due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Within the past 40 years, incarceration has increased by 500%. Chief Eckert claims that the Sheriff's Department has no choice regarding accepting people into their custody is not entirely true. So under the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures, jailers have the broad power to issue citations instead of bringing people into their custody. So these are known as desk tickets to many other folks who work around these issues. But basically, instead of allowing folks to be booked into the county jail, the Sheriff's Department does have the power to issue desk tickets instead of that. So issuing their own form of cite and release, which is currently being used by law enforcement in Tarrant County to reduce the jail population. Now I'm going to talk about arguments that were made in opposition to the contract, mainly by Commissioners Roy Brooks and Devin Allen, as well as several other community members and organizers who were present on August 30th when the contract was signed into agreements. Commissioner Brooks voiced his distrust of private prisons, and Commissioner Allen voiced her concern that Tarrant County is poised to give $18.5 million in funding for a solution that isn't addressing the systemic issue that created the overcrowding issue in the first place. And doing further research, in a 2006 case, a woman detained in Santa Fe County Jail, which was run by MTC, was raped by other people incarcerated there. The civil case charged MTC at fault because of their severe staff shortages that led to the incidents. And even though MTC was warned several times by several people that the staff shortages would lead to such issues, the issue still occurred. So Roy Brooks' concern regarding his distrust of private prisons is not a far-fetched incident. It further speaks to the nature of the blatant disregard of human rights that private prisons contractors like MTC perpetuates against people in their custody. And as for Commissioner Allen's argument, it is absolutely correct that we are giving $18.5 million to temporary solution that isn't addressing the issue at its roots. Decarceration is possible on multiple levels, but we're struggling right now with a not my problem mentality among elected officials who have the power to decarcerate and save lives. Governors have the power to commute sentences. State legislators can pass bills to release people early. Corrections departments can identify people for early releases or appoint special masters to do this and expand those eligible for release hearings. Federal courts can act similarly. Criminal judicial system, superior courts, and DAs can adopt policies that fix the presumptive bail amount for certain charge offenses at $0, so people are not held in jail due to their poverty. When carceral populations were reduced at the beginning of the pandemic, reports were created that showed us that public safety did not suffer. And Tarrant County has the power to advocate for any of these changes. But instead of doing so, they're adopting a contract that's going to further drain resources from us instead of divesting those resources to community-based solutions that can actually address the issue at its roots. Comparing us to Dallas County, just right next door to Tarrant County, the DA in Dallas County, John Creusot, is actually not currently prosecuting theft of personal items under $750 that are stolen out of necessity. $750 threshold is the minimum to be charged with a Class B misdemeanor for theft in Texas. The Dallas County DA is not prosecuting most first-time marijuana offenses, and according to Judge Whitley, Sheriff Wayborn, and other Tarrant County officials, Tarrant County enforcement are not arresting people for Class C misdemeanors to try to reduce the jail population, and they can expand this, as they have done so in Dallas County and in several other places around the nation. Judge Whitley is poised to create a council of Tarrant County officials to ensure the jail population is not over-exacerbated again, which is something that I fully support. We do need to unify all criminal legal stakeholders to address this issue at its roots, but it needs to happen now, and it needs to be done so in a way that actually utilizes this funding for the issues that are not currently being paid attention to, just like the Mental Health Jail Diversion Center. So in conclusion, according to the MTC contracts prints, the contract allows for Tarrant County to voluntarily terminate the agreements, which it should, and Tarrant County needs to divert ARPA funding towards long-term, community-based solutions that will end the crisis of mass incarceration in Tarrant County.
So Jonathan, if folks care about this issue, which groups can they follow?
Yeah, great question, Edward. So they can follow local community organizations that have a vested interest in holding the jail accountable and working towards solving the systemic issues. So groups such as United Fort Worth, ICE out of Tarrant County, even Broadway Baptist Church that have been extremely vocal against injustices within the county jail come to mind right off the bat. And even statewide organizations like the ACLU of Texas and even the Texas Jail Project that are actively creating reports regarding the injustices facing the criminal legal system in Texas and issuing calls to action on what people can do to take action against these injustices to prevent them from happening again.
Well, Jonathan, you're a local leader on this issue. We appreciate what you do, bringing awareness to what happens in Tarrant County Jail. I know you cover a lot of North Texas. You always find time to kind of bring attention to injustices in our counties. We appreciate what you do. Since you're with the group ICE out of Tarrant County, why don't we close by you plugging your social media for this group?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So you can follow our work on Facebook, ICE out of Tarrant / ICE fuera de Tarrant. We're also on Instagram and Twitter under the same handle, ICE out of Tarrant. We appreciate any support that we can always get for different issues that we're working on, because these issues are not going to go away without folks on the ground and folks paying attention to what's going on. So any amounts of support that we can receive ourselves or even our partners, United Fort Worth, can receive is always so much appreciated and goes such a long way.
Okay, so folks, please follow this group, and when you see an event listed, consider showing up, because if you care about this issue, this is the group that's going to help bring about change. So Jonathan, again, thank you for what you do. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your letters to the editor. I think we have another one waiting to get published, and we're happy to help however we can.
Thank you so much, Edward. Y'all take care.
Thank you.